What I'd like to have right now is for you highly emotional, highly sensitive, grown boys and girls of society to exit my channel as I speak to mature adult men and women on topics you get triggered on and are sensitive to. And with that being said, the title of this video is called Woke and Wicked Gen Z Girls and Boys Are Angry They Didn't Get the Byler Relationship on Stranger Things 5. Now, disclaimer, as I mentioned in my intro right now, if you're someone who is very emotional, very triggered on certain topics that people talk about that you are not in tune with or don't like, then quite simply don't watch this video. This video is going to be short and it's going to be about the last season, the series finale of Stranger Things 5. As you know, it is coming to an end. The most popular show on Netflix, Stranger Things, has reached its boiling point of antics, of surprises, and things that people haven't seen in any type of show on Netflix for quite some time now. But what I'm going to talk about today is the uproar and the stupidity in which a lot of woke and wicked Gen Z girls and boys of today's society are upset about. And I have seen this on YouTube, I've seen it on TikTok and Instagram, and this talk of what should have been and what we should not be seeing. And what they are talking about is the relationship that they yearn for. And the relationship is for Mike Wheeler and Will Byers to have a male-on-male relationship in the series finale. And they didn't get it. Just a couple of days ago, episodes 5, 6, and 7 came out, and the fans were very disappointed on them not getting what they had been hoping for since maybe season 3 or perhaps season 4. And I'm here to say right now that it's very woke and very wicked that you have a lot of Gen Z girls, mostly girls, not the boys. I call them grown boys and girls. That's someone who's very immature, very highly emotional, highly sensitive, very cunning, very pessimistic, just a no-good individual who's not a mature adult. That's my term for a grown boy and girl. You see them a lot in the comment section and them making videos about them not getting what they wanted in Stranger Things 5. As you know, that the characters, Mike Wheeler is with one of the main protagonists on the show, 11, and you've seen a lot of horrible comments. This is a show now. This is just a show. A lot of horrible comments from these woke Gen Z boys and girls, even the millennials, even people that's part of my generation. These millennials who made these comments about the relationship, the on-screen relationship of the character Mike and 11 in season 1, 2, and 3. It's that 80s nostalgia of puppy love and a young boy liking a young girl and stuff like that. And it even happened in the 90s with some people who grew up in the 90s. But you see this new age way of thinking and what's being carried on in society is that they don't want to see any type of heterosexual relationships. They don't want to see a heterosexual man with a heterosexual woman. They want to see a heterosexual man with a gay male, or they want to see a heterosexual woman with a lesbian female. This is what they want to see. Anything that is just, they don't want to see it. Anything that's unjust, they want to see it. And you may get triggered on what I'm saying, but I have my opinion and I have my right to say what I want to say about what I believe in, just how you can get on your platform and say what you believe in. And what you're seeing is a lot of wickedness. Not, of course you see it within the show, but you see it within the fans. And the fans wanted this relationship between two males to have a ongoing, maybe hugging and kissing and, uh, you know, groping of the body and hand touching towards one another to make them feel more accepted within society when most of what's going on today is being accepted with this woke nonsense. And they don't like that they had the character Mike being this kind of shy, nerdy type young male growing up and him falling in love with the character by the name of L11 Jane and him holding back from her. They didn't like to see that type of stuff. They didn't want to see that type of young puppy love chemistry, you know, when they were watching it. They wanted to see them kind of dismantle in a way to where they're not a couple. They're just friends. They're just friends. They don't really give 2 cents on them being with each other or not being with each other. And there were talks of, like, I believe it was season 2, at the end of season 2 when they went to the dance. Mike was waiting on 11 because he was hoping that she would come to the dance, with him and stuff. And then you have all these theories with these woke Gen Z girls and boys saying that he really wasn't waiting for 11. He was waiting for Mike. He wanted to dance with Mike when clearly they showed they showed Will. I had that backwards. I'm sorry. They had they had Mike waiting for L, but the theory was he was really waiting for Will, and he wanted to dance with Will and kiss Will when they clearly showed Will dancing with a girl. They get upset when they don't get what they want. This new age woke group, they don't when they don't get what they want, they say that everyone's racist, everyone's a bigot, everyone is just evil, they're the devil, because they don't want to see any type of heterosexual men and women together. If everything is like Bizarro's world, they feel comfortable. But when it's not that's when they get truly highly emotional and highly irrational, and they start making certain threats and saying all kind of crazy things, and they get what they want. I mean, the system is almost being built just for them to live comfortably amongst people who maybe are not with that type of lifestyle. And if you're not with that type of lifestyle, you're deemed as, you'll get crucified. You're deemed as a demon. You're deemed as a wicked person. And you have your way of living and what you were taught growing up, and they have their new age philosophy, which is what they see on the internet. I'm sorry that some people didn't get raised properly by their parents, but I was raised properly, and I'm a heterosexual man, and I tend to be that way. But if you tell someone that's part of this woke crowd, they'll say that you're a loser. You're saying that you're just a crazy individual who doesn't want love from you don't want two people who are the same sex to love one another. Like, no one never said that. What I'm trying to say is that what they're promoting on this show and what the woke crowd wanted, they didn't get what they wanted. That's why some people said that the ratings dropped because of that. And just the stupidity of them saying that Mike always had this secret love towards Will. No, he didn't. He was, the character, people take this very seriously. I'm just explaining it from what I've seen. The character Mike, that's his best friend, Will. And he looked after him because of what he's been through. Him going through him being in the upside down, him suffering from the craziness that the mind flayer did to him and all that stuff. And we later learned it was Vecna and all that, doing all that crazy, wicked stuff to him. And they're saying that the Duffer brothers had this secret, this secret script of, Mike being in love with Will. It was never the case. And they say all this crazy stuff just to make themselves feel good. And again, they didn't get what they wanted in these last 3 episodes. And, they're talking about if the Duffer brothers or Netflix doesn't do what we want, we're going to sue them. How are you going to sue the Duffer brothers and Netflix because you want a male on male relationship on a show that's about to end? I mean, it just sounds very wicked. It sounds very wicked. I know some people are going to agree with me, and some people are not going to agree with me. Those are the people who are going to probably make crazy comments about what I'm saying. But you're threatening, the creators of the show and Netflix, this streaming platform, because you're not getting what you wanted. I mean, go sit down somewhere. Go swing on a swing set or something, or go do something that can, supplicate your emotions, because you're acting like a baby. It's very immature of you to say that we're going to sue if this person dies, or we're going to sue if we don't get the relationship that we yearned for, that we wanted. And it's just absolutely nuts. It's really nuts. And most importantly, the main people who are pushing this Byler relationship is not the Gen Z boys. It's not them, who may be in fact gay. It's not them. It's the girls. It's the girls that is pushing this male on male relationship, not only within the show, but they're also pushing this in society, that they want heterosexual men to have some type of bisexual nature, to be bi-curious, and to invoke some type of hidden bisexual gene in them to explore and stuff like that. I'm sorry, you're going to get a lot of heterosexual men who are not down for that type of stuff, and you can't force them. Excuse me. You can't force them. You can't force them to be into this new age way of living and just drop their old way of living. You're not gonna get that. And what's going on today is that they're pushing this hardcore. I mean, it's in everything now, from video games to TV shows to movies. And if you're not down with it, again, you're deemed as a devil. You're deemed as a bigot. You're deemed as a racist. Whatever negative thing that is attached to wrongdoing, that is what you are. And if you are not part of that, that's what you are. And hey, if I'm not part of it, you can call me every name in the book, but I know for a fact if you say anything crazy in my comment section, I will block you. But the fact of the matter is that you got a lot of lesbian young females, girls, who is pushing this Byler relationship on this show, and they're so livid. You can see it on Instagram, you can see it on TikTok. They are going crazy. They're saying, this is not what I expected. And they're making videos of them crying and them saying that the Duffer brothers are, sons of bitches and stuff like that for not doing what we all wanted, what we requested. I'm sorry, that's their show. They can do whatever they want. And you're not getting your way, so you're going to make all these crazy rants and make videos, and you get a lot of people who are making these videos. I mean, just this past weekend, there have been like maybe just thousands upon thousands of videos you see, little shorts, maybe 10-minute videos, 15-minute videos, and you see the view count, and it's just 1,000, 17,000, 20,000. These are people liking this stuff. They wanted this relationship between the characters, Will and Mike, to flourish, and they didn't get what they wanted, and now they're upset. Get over it. And they said all kind of negative stuff. Again, they said all kind of negative stuff about the relationship, the on-screen relationship that the characters Mike and Eleven had. They hated that. Anything that was heterosexual, they hated it. They hated that. Even other characters, Jonathan and Nancy, they hated that. Look what happened in the last 3 episodes, how it's not even, there's no type of chemistry. There's no chemistry between the characters Hopper and Joyce and Jonathan and Nancy and Will and Eleven. There's nothing, and that's the way they want it. They want it to be just a nonchalant, platonic. There's no care of hugging. There's no type of romance scene with Hopper and joys of them maybe kissing and saying that they love each other. Nothing. And that's the way they want it. But everybody will be cheering and crying and popping bottles of champagne if Will and Mike decide to have an on-screen hugging and a gesture of kissing one another. They were probably hoping too, after Will had gained Vecna's powers and he snapped those demos, broke their necks and limbs and all that stuff like that, when Mike ran to him and said, he's a sorcerer, and he hugged him. They were hoping that Mike and Will would kiss right there. That's exactly what they were hoping. They were hoping that. But they didn't get it. And then when they didn't get it, they went crazy. There's a lot of reaction videos to that part right there. You can look it up. You can find it. And they actually went crazy because they didn't get that part that they wanted so much was for them to kiss each other right there. Excuse me. I'm sorry, but you're not going to get it. And I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen on the last episode. So, stay woke and stay upset and stay angry because you're not getting your way, and continue to make videos that's just stupid, and, do what you have to do, because you're not going to tell people who made this show, who thought of this idea to put it on a platform that has gained millions and millions of followers, and for them to change it for you because you want it. I'm sorry. It's just not going to work. So get mad and stay whatever type of mindset that you have is only going to mess you up mentally in the long run. It's just a waste of time for you to think like that. And for you to hate on the show is just showing your immaturity and your stupidity. That's all I have to say. If you have any comments, leave them leave them in the comment section. If you say anything negative that's stupid or anything, I'll just block you. That's it. I'll just delete the comment. And I'll see you guys in the next video.